Good morning. Welcome to another fabulous episode of How Many Tabs Are Open on Mr. Johnson's Computer. It looks like today we have four. Today is your math map test, so please make sure that you are either ready to take it or hopefully you feel like you did a good job if you've already taken it. But that is why today you have one assignment instead of having two assignments, is because of your map test. Also, today is second to last day to get the last of your missing or incomplete assignments in. So tomorrow, March 10th, is the last day to get in any missing assignments or any assignments that you want to redo to improve your grade. So, and remember, this is the first week of the fourth 9 weeks. So all the grades from this week will go on your fourth 9 weeks report card. So really, if you have a lot of stuff from the third 9 weeks, weeks 13 through 21 to do, get that done this week, and then you can catch up. All right, so today's assignment is Math March 9th, week 22, activity 1, and we're going to work on graphing. So the first thing that we really need to focus on is the vocabulary words for graphing. All right. And so what I want to do is I want to take a look at the OneNote and let's go ahead and review graphing. All right. So first off, we are talking about the coordinate plane. Remember, coordinates are like a location. So a coordinate plane is basically like a map. All right. So remember, you have the coordinate plane is made up of two parts. Here is your x-axis. Your x-axis is like a number line going from side to side. The middle is 0, of course, and you go 1, 2. This way it'd be -1, -2. We don't know negatives yet, so we're probably not going to be working with parts of the coordinate plane. In fact, there are 4 quadrants. Remember, quadrant is like one section out of 4. Quad means 4. Quadrant is like separated into 4 sections. All right, so this is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. This is quadrant 4. All right. For quadrant 1, all your numbers will have a positive x and a positive y. For 2, you would have a negative x and a positive y. Quadrant 3, you'd have a negative x and a negative y. And then on 4, you would have a positive x and a negative y. So, because we don't know negative numbers as fifth graders, or at least we haven't been taught that specifically in school, we're not going to use quadrant 2, quadrant 3, or quadrant 4 at this point on the graph. That is why your graph oftentimes will look like an L. All right. Obviously, I didn't draw that perfectly, but your graph will look like this because what you're looking at is this section of the big graph. All right. So there's more to it. You just don't use it yet because you're in fifth grade. You'll use quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4 in middle school and high school. All right. So once again, we're only sticking to the positive numbers because we are in quadrant 1. All right. So basically, when we go to the right, our number gets bigger on our x-axis, and when we go up, our number gets bigger on our y-axis. Okay. Now, if this is 1 and this is 1, that means that this area right here is 0, 0. All right. Kind of looks like an owl. 0, 0. This is called your origin. All right. It's where everything starts. It's the beginning. With superheroes, the origin story is the beginning of how they became a superhero. Like we talked about yesterday, like Spider-Man got bit by a radioactive spider. That's his origin story. That's how he got his spider powers, right? So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play graphing battleship, right? So x and y. This is how a coordinate is set up. The first number has to do with your x-axis, all right? These numbers. And then your second number in the coordinate has to do with your y-axis, or these numbers. All right. Now, what we got to do is if we're on x, we're going to run on our x-axis. Okay. And then if you have y, you need to jump on your y-axis. That almost looks like jumpy. So you gotta run on your x-axis and then jump on your y-axis. All right, so let's say that we have the point, let's say 2 comma 3. All right, this is x, this is y, this is run, this is jump. So how many spaces do I need to run? 2 spaces. So I run 2 spaces. All right, that's where I would be. And then how many spaces do I need to jump after I run 2 spaces? 1, 2, 3. All right, so here's the point 2, 3 on the graph. I ran 2, I jumped 3, and put the point right there. All right, so y-axis is your vertical number line. X-axis is your horizontal number line. Origin is where your x-axis and your y-axis intersect perpendicularly. So remember, if we're looking at the full coordinate plane with quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4, this is the origin, and it is where the y-axis and the x-axis intersect perpendicularly. Remember, anytime two lines cross, it's an intersection, but if they cross at a 90-degree angle, that's when it's perpendicular. Okay, so let's go back to our graph. So it looks like we need to label x-axis, y-axis, and origin. Remember, the origin is where everything begins. So every time we begin, we got to start at the origin, which is right there. 0, 0. It's the beginning. It's the middle of the graph. I'm saying middle because we're only looking at that one section. All right, x-axis. X-axis is where you run. So if you're running, that's side-to-side movement. So we're going to put our x-axis on our horizontal number line. Our y-axis is where we jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the y-axis label next to our vertical number line, and that's where we jump. So let's say that we had a point, let's say 2, 3. So I'm making something up right now. You don't have to do this, obviously, on this slide. But let's say that I want to make point 2, comma 3, right? Remember, that is x first, y second. So that means that I have to run 2 spaces and then jump 3 spaces. All right. So if I was going to make a point, let's make a little happy face. All right. I'm going to run 1, 2 spaces. I'm going to jump 1, 2, 3 spaces. And there I go. There is my point 2, comma 3. All right. So if I wanted to label that, this is the point 2, 3. Oops. Need to stretch that out. But we ran 2 on our horizontal number line, our x-axis, and we jumped 3 on our vertical number line, our y-axis. Run 2, jump 3. That's the point 2, 3. Oh, goodness. I should have been more creative because that's exactly what we have right here. All right, so here's what we need to do. We need to label which part is our x coordinate. We need to label which part is our y coordinate. And then we need to place the dot on the point 2, 3. So since I just did that on this one, why don't you go ahead and give it your best shot? Here is the information for the first part. So which number represents your x? Which number represents your y? That's what you're doing right here. Which number represents your x? Which number represents your y? And then remember, you run the x number, you jump the y number. So you're going to run 2, jump 3, and then put the dot on 2, 3. Okay, so like I said, I just accidentally did the second page on the first page, just trying to be creative. Maybe I should have looked ahead, but that should give you exactly what you need to solve the second page anyway. So do this one on your own. Properly label your x coordinate, properly label your y coordinate, and then move your dot to run 2 spots, jump 3 spots. That's the home. That's the coordinate. That's the location on your coordinate plane. All right. So don't forget map test if you haven't taken it, or great job taking your final math map test if you already have taken it. I hope that everything goes well today. If you have any questions, ask your teachers. We're around. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Okay, I think that's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.